Alrighty, everybody, welcome to your COD Mobile UECE Ranking League, and I'm here joined by my one and only Connie, except for last week when you cheated on me with Corn, but we're not going to go into that. That was a different game, and now we're into COD Mobile, Connie. I mean, it's great, man. It's my first time doing COD Mobile. I know you've done a little bit. I'm excited to see how it's going to go for us, but more excitedly, I'm excited to see these teams.
I know, and it's one of the more interesting sort of games, COD Mobile, because you're taking elements of Call of Duty, you spice them up a little bit, adding upgrades into certain areas. Didn't think you needed it. There's 7 rounds to win for an S&D, but here we are. I mean, what really makes it special to watch as well is there's action all the time, 5v5 setup, specialists. I mean, when it comes to Europe as well, we're looking at one of the regions again that is dying for new breakout stars and gems uncovered. And it really is one of the sort of more interesting leagues to look at from a retrospective angle. They just have got so much untapped talent, but need to get a bigger pool of talent available. So we're thinking now, again, as we approach towards Snapdragon Season 6, what can be done, and again, where the improvements might lie for existing teams.
Well, this will be one of those tournaments that's just going to breed talent naturally, right? And you need these kind of structures to help facilitate that. And hopefully we continue to see that going forward. We are in our last day of group stages. I believe our last match, and then we go into the playoffs and see these teams go head to head. Let's take a look at how the groups have ended off throughout this season, and see really where everyone ended up. I don't think there's any crazy surprises, if I'm not wrong. I know people keeping their eye on Exclusive. They went 2-0. I believe Glass also went 2-0. I think we're following Quantic versus Royalty today, so 0-2 versus 1-1. And I believe I've seen a little bit of Quantic before, and I don't think that tells the whole story with an 0-2 scoreline.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some of these groups, again, are stacked against some heavy favorites in Europe. I mean, if you look towards Group A's #1 Exclusive, they finished second in Snapdragon Season 4, the one in which I worked out in Poland, and, well, again, was one of the major qualifiers, again, for the World Champs at the end of the year. We also, again, have them in Group A, who finished third. They also, again, were a team that lost to Exclusive previously, so seeing them in the playoff phase is going to be quite exciting, and what sort of new rosters might be appearing in front of our eyes, because, again, Exclusive upset Kings in a major fashion when it came to their winners bracket run, but couldn't get the job done in the end. I imagine they must have lost a few players again to better teams, but it's a similar sort of fashion where you look towards Omniscient as well, where they may have lost a few players from their impressive run as well in the same format. But Quantic will be the first team up today as to round off the group stages and head into playoffs. We've got Aussie, Nywin, Master, Noe, and Nock, which in terms of actually how the setup might look, a brand new set of players for me, a brand new organization as well to boot. I'm quite excited to see what they have to offer.
I think that's the beauty of being a brand new team and org in general, right? You have a lot to prove and not a lot to lose, right? You're fresh, you're coming out hot. You know, you're not expecting insane results. It's still honeymoon stage, and coming out, you're going to be expecting to just see what you can do. See if you can upset some teams, see if you can put on a good performance and really just make a name for yourself early on. So no big surprises here from me. You know, I'll just be expecting to see how they keep performing going through. Royalty, however, Connie, talk me through this team.
Kairu, Mojin, Turgi, Warhawk, and Swo. Right, okay, there's a lot of letters and a lot of places where dyslexia might not be a great asset when commentating.
Yeah, this is hurting me,
It really is one of the more
We love the X's down in COD Mobile, man. This is crazy.
There's no chance that maybe we might slip up here and there, but in terms of expectations, again, a fresh slate for me. Never seen them before. An organization, again, that's brand new to me, given my experience and what I already expect to see from Group A and Group C and their front hitters and spearheads. But I mean, with Royalty, I love to see what can be done and exactly where we start to place players in their roles. There's not going to be much, you know, in-depth analysis until we get into the game and analyze their gameplay itself. It really is quite a nice, clean slate for this team.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe they put the X's in the name because they're trying to blow us a kiss, Connie, you know? Like, maybe it's like a little flirtation thing going on for these teams. Honestly, like, you never know. I mean, maybe we get freaky down in COD Mobile. It's my first time. I don't know how they act. I don't know what the teams are going to be like. I don't know if we have a map set yet, but I'd be curious to know what maps these guys are going to pull out. In terms of COD Mobile, Connie, what are we looking out for in a map set? And we do have it, Summit Express Seaside. Throwback for me, Summit is one that I have not seen play competitively since, Black Ops 1, right? It's a throwback
You're right.
for me, so.
And it's such a seeded story as well. All these maps are Black Ops maps, Remy, from 1, 2, and 4, all the way across. And Seaside Control, Infinity mentions quite a lot on broadcast. He'd like to see this out of the map pool. In terms of actual play, it doesn't play the same as Black Ops 4, as we remembered it. It's a little bit more of a undigestible situation for COD Mobile. It feels quite clunky, but in the same token, when it comes to defending, it's almost just as easy as it was in Black Ops 4. So it's going to be quite a guaranteed victory in terms of the map, the round 5, dominance and securing ticks. If it goes to control, some hardpoints open up. Well, this is one of the more fun ones, right? It's got all sorts of assets that could throw you off as a player. Environmental factors are to a minimum. Not many things could explode and kill you, but you have to be incredible with your movement and parkour a little bit. As the outer lane, again, has got 3 mega drops that can at least clayster you off into the map. That's how I genuinely would phrase it from the mouth of a COD expert.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. And, Express as a map in general, I think is like tried and true S&D. Kind of just the staple, at least in my eyes. Maybe that's a bit biased. I love the map. I think it's great. BO2 classic. But of course, in terms of Search and Destroy and how it's played throughout the years, 4v4, and I'm sure translated to 5v5, I'd imagine it would be the same, right? I don't think anyone has a problem with Express. It's standard. It's great. And if we see it go the distance, Seaside Control, of course, which is always an interesting one as well. So all things considered, map set, anything that really surprised you here, Connie, or is it just, kind of the stock standard? I know we talked about a little bit, touched on Summit, but is there anything really surprising here about this map pool? Well,
it's just that all 3 of these together, you wouldn't really see Summit after Express and Seaside after Express. It's just a weird mixture. We see Express usually in the last portion of best of 5. I feel like, again, this could be, the final day of groups where teams just pick their worst maps or their best maps to go out on. Especially for the top-end teams, they float in maps that aren't necessarily their primary picks just to get stronger in them for playoffs. So that's why the map sets always look weird and funky in week 3 to 4 of a group league phase. There just isn't any, beneficial factors. Opening up, though, Quantic on the blue side, yellow, and quite convincing fashion. Malik with the shotgun looks to get some early trades out fast away.
Yeah, Aussie already with a nice 2-piece. Opens things up for the side of Royalty. I believe they might be switched if I'm not mistaken, but maybe my memory is faulting me. KRM though in the hands. Unfortunately not going to go the way. Knife comes through. SMG not quite getting the kill either, so trades a piece, Connie, on this P1.
Nice spot as well. Scoreboard's back to normal. So far, again, a 1-point game, but a very contested hill, and Quantic looks to try and get 30 seconds off this one. We consider a set play. They're holding on to the P2 spawns, and the rotating players are actually being enforced with wonderful spawns from the guys stuck in hill, covering both lanes of attack. Revenge are funneling through the middle, and it's an instant wipe as well. No one from Revenge can touch time, as they're now splitting from both sides. 2 new players from Quantic stacked inside the hill, create an awkward split.
Yeah, they get the split spawns. A full wipe as well. You can see the blue not touching this kill feed so far. And all things considered, Revenge looking a little bit better in the group stage. Quantic putting up a great response, all things considered. And this is what I was talking about beforehand, Connie. I've seen Quantic play before. They looked good. They looked solid. Maybe they lose it towards the end of the game, but so far, a ripper start from them. They've got to try and break on towards P2. You've got the KRM in the hands of Manic as he tries to break on in now and maybe find that opening thread for Quantic.
Steve's being a huge distraction right now, which benefits Revenge and their setup for this hill. It's very open, so Utility's also going to be a huge exposure and a wonderful idea to break, but the shotgun's playing close quarters for Revenge, just keeping time ever in their hands. Quantic have got close spawns, though, because no one's been proactive from Revenge's side. They're still playing around the hill, not quite pushing out the barriers and the spawn points just yet, but 30 seconds goes to the way of Revenge.
Yeah, you can see how deep that Quantic squad is routing as well. They still need to find Raptor. Not going to quite go their way, though. Nice 2-piece coming out of him. Switches the pistol. Now trying to set up to New. It's going to be a bit of a mad dash. 15 seconds of times will go to Revenge. So at least they even things up, Connie, here. They have to set up for New. So it's going to have to be a big break from Revenge. You see number 1 as well on the other side of the map. Steve trying to get that break on in, and he does so successfully off screen, Connie. Big 2-piece. That'll be Revenge in the point. And now you've got 2 players from Quantic trying to pick up the scraps.
3 players in the backside as well for Quantic, trying to hold a spawn, but it's a nice little break from Revenge. They've got an overload in the south side of the map, and in terms of numbers, they can play inside this hill perfectly. Wall-to-wall coverage, need utility and trophies ideally to block these nades, because for Quantic, again, it's going to be a still fight for control portion of this map. There's no one really locking it in, but this final push, though, in this beautiful horizontal line from Quantic, with the streaks available in hand, can hold it.
Yeah, all the specialists just getting unleashed right there on that point. Quantic do come out on top, just brutal violence on this P3. And you can see as well, the SMG coming into play, not going to quite go where they want. Purifier as well coming out. And a very difficult break yet again, but Revenge still making this a good battle so far, doing a great job of playing for those scrap times, Connie.
And look at this actual position for Revenge. Scrap time goes their way. There's a player pushed up, though, all the way from Quantic, and it's going to be Nywin. He's going to be the distraction in terms of where the setup should be. As Revenge, though, send 2 players on the rotation. Important kills to be won. Quantic find them. They're going to have initial ready for new, and a beautiful pinch because Revenge now committing 5 players towards the hill. Opens up a crucial split from the 2 players respawning from Quantic. They can still hold this based on angles.
Wow, not checking the corner. Has no idea there's a second one, but for some reason not going for the immediate trade. I've got to assume that that's a massive blunder. There is a spawn in the back or maybe a route, and that will pinch the hill, and you see it come to effect. Hez with a nice 2-piece. Now you've got to play down the back. 2 Quantic members now trying to pinch this hill with the rest of the cavalry, and it's going to be a full brute force try play into the front of this point. Unfortunately, it just all gets shut down. The claw in play from Raptor finds 3.
Beautiful movement. Excellent positioning. Raptors opened up the game perfectly. Revenge crushed 100 points. Hellstorm missile has been acquired. Using it on the outside lane, not in the middle. Trusting his teammates again to have the barrels up ready for the primary exit. And hang on a second. With Barrow's final positioning, there's still going to be an awkward split spawn. Revenge have got at least 1 player left on scrap time to try and contest it. Quantic have held onto it in just a brutal fashion. And a 1v1 as well on the west side of the map. And that's going to be Manic just pushing around the outside. Is it enough to open it up, though? Revenge, they get scrap time secured, and it's just a big contest where Quantic fire their nades.
Still now coming over towards the second set of rotations. P1 online yet again. Quantic in on the point, soaking up that time. Potentially, never mind the contest actually in. Some good kills go their way. Kill feed lining up yellow. 3. Make it a 4th as well. So, I mean, it's a staggered kill feed, but somehow Revenge finding themselves a way on in, finding the bodies, finding the kills, and you can just see it's back and forth to try and take control of P1.
And they're throwing every bit of utility they can. 2 stuns go to the north side of the map, and Nade left on the point. Quantic have the overload, an extra player inside the hill to try and equalize the trades. But in terms of the spawns, Revenge can pretty much still play the fighting for control portion of this hill. 20 seconds of scrap time's up for grabs. 2 players are spawned out, and that shooter, Nywin, again, making a beautiful play to create this awkward split and try and flip around the side of the map. It's still a 9-point game, but we're starting to see plays made from Quantic that look to try and exaggerate a lead here. They're cutting them out perfectly, and they know the spawn points well.
Yeah, I mean, these spawns, I mean, it's a good thing to bring up because they are chaotic. I'm watching that minimap. I'm seeing players spawn right next to each other on opposite teams. And you can see Quantic trying to get that pressure towards P2 spawns. Not quite going their way, though. And immediately that Purifier is grabbed from Adeyemi and not quite getting as much value as he probably hoped, as every single player from Revenge just getting wiped off the map, Connie, on P2.
Oh, look at Quantic Specialists as well. They have 3 available to use. Perfect now to hold a hill, even break 1. Aussie with the War Machine, chucking it straight towards Revenge's main choke point of entry, and it's finding some mild success. They find the important kill, Revenge, to break onto the point, but looking at the overload, no positioning here for Quantic to actually hold this off.
Wow, all 4 players now push to the front. It's going to be on Knock with the help of his teammate, Manic. Equalizer is out into play, but he's still playing his life on this point and is doing a great job of just staying alive. A bit of an overchell. Didn't know where his teammates were. Might cost them that time, but it's only 12 seconds of scrap they'll give up. And Quantic as well, already at new, set up on the rotation. You can see Revenge constantly behind the 8 ball here. They need to try and make a play. Any specialists will need to come out here, Connie.
Some great structure from Revenge to break onto the point. Quantic held 3 players at the back, lost a marker, and now they're flipped out. This is beautiful from Revenge. They're holding onto lives and an overload, as well as aiming down the correct lanes. Nywin does such great work to hold on time, but Quantic can still push.
Look at Barra popping a 3-piece, equalizes out to play as well. Matic only able to get one more for his troubles. Sparrow out as well, so Revenge, as I said, popping those specialists, making sure they can take control of this P3. It's crucial to get them in this game and to continue fighting that good fight against Quantic right now. P3, money hill for them so far. You can see No trying to get that route through. Unfortunately, it's going to have to be a big break here from Quantic, and it's not quite going their way. Every specialist, just a dagger right now for Quantic, unable to deal with the onslaught, and that is a massive hold from Revenge.
Fantastic work. A little 1v1. The Purifier isn't of much use in terms of a hill break situation. Revenge secured a scrap time, opting again now to have a player hop off to try and get the flood ready for new, as Quantic's strategy again is to have the set spawns ready for initial, but we actually see the Predator missile being acquired now by Revenge, and this could be great use at this point in time. Look at the hill positioning, look at the spawns, needs to kill the back marker. That's what Revenge need in order to get the control of this hill. It can be held so easy from the front by Quantic.
Look at Barra. Barra comes on in, big 2-piece, looking for the third, not quite. Nywin shuts it down. Still trying to get control of this point. So many players, so many spawns close. Aussie trying to play his life as best as he can, but so far his team doing a great job of trying to clean that up. Claw now out for Raptor. He's done so much damage with this before. Can he do it again? Back in on the point. Big kills coming out from Barra, and it's a beautiful break from Revenge.
Oh, the Claw's finding so much impact here as well for Raptor. In terms of the trades as well, Quantic have got 20 seconds left of scrap time to play with here. Revenge couldn't get much time off this hill, Remy. They actually were contested for the most part by Quantic, which is a great ideal situation. We've seen two players commit towards mid, nades go through, and both teams now are prioritizing the rotation. This is insane. They're committing right now to try and close the lead, Quantic, and in terms of actually rotating to new, they've got the overload.
Big points now, third set of rotation. We've been here before, we'll be here again. Such a close scoreline so far. 10-point lead for Revenge now as P1 comes online. War Machine invested from Aussie. He's had some great impact with it so far in this map. We'll see if he's going to have that impact here again. Continuously locking down this choke point. Spawns now coming in from Revenge in the back as well. Very awkward series of engagements. No idea where to look. So many kills coming in from Revenge. It's a 3 down, and now they find the break onto P1. Not a lot of time being grabbed yet, and it's going to be not coming in with a nice 2-piece to break.
Interesting situation here for Revenge. They're forced out the hill. Quantic can't quite touch in time because they still need to explore how much pressure is outside the hill. And in terms of actually getting the trades, they can't find them when they're in close quarters and an overload. Heslo as well as the Tempest, and it's perfect weaponry to break onto a point free of charge. Gets a beautiful free, and he locks down the entire section of the map. The hill can't be touched. Neither
He's still
can
going.
Hez. Excellent break, and now again just a hunter drone to try and find the additionals. 5 big kills.
Still going, still frying. Now, has the KRM to boot. SMG switches back. Unfortunate nade shuts him down, but it's what Quantic needed. Now coming into this P2, they need to lock down this time. Revenge with a great P1. Still pretty even on the score, but enough to put Revenge ahead. And so far in this state of the game, Connie, that is massive. And you can see Raptor up top just shredding down these players from Quantic as they run down that lane. And you can see no one has an answer to what Revenge is putting forward right now. Quantic letting the game slip from their hands as we speak. Unfortunately, though, they do find some kills back, and they might be able to find themselves on this point.
Revenge got a wonderful breaking opportunity here as well, but the Purifier is no effect, a simple trade, and the spawns actually favor Revenge in this situation. They're committing no players from middle, and they're throwing their stuns over the point, so they're going to have the spawns blocked off for Quantic. They're finding more of an overload here, and it's a trade in this little section of the map that just signifies where the spawns will be, and Quantic scrap time hopes. They're still sending a player on for rotation, but what do Revenge have? They have new spawns, and it's just dire. At 212, 220, it could be a perfect hold for Revenge. They got the utility and they've got the weaponry in such a close space.
I mean, Aussie finding that 2-piece was massive. Trying to get through the back does get shut down. Sparrow in play, however. Knock able to find Steve, and you can see the spawns are in. So many kills coming out from Quantic now. They did a great job of grabbing that scrap and also finding the break. It's a massive conversion, Connie. Gravity gun now out as well. Big kill from Aussie. Still trying to make this play, but Raptor comes in swinging with the help of Barra, and it is so difficult, but Aussie with the War Machine might just be enough to hold this down for Quantic, and it's a massive 2-piece from him. So many players to deal with, but so far, Quantic cleaning up all of Revenge's members, and this Hardpoint might have run away with them. Quantic looking to shut this down. The last break comes in from Revenge. Barrow with a two-piece, Hez coming in, pinstripe kill feed. It's a re-break, and somehow Quantic not running away with this yet.
Fantastic. I mean, in terms of the scrap time, though, of Quantic, just 8 seconds left. They're all going to commit towards the hill. It's the only play left, the closest one out, and Revenge lose the time.
Needs the break, trying to come on in. And Yemi coming in with a two-piece now. It's back and forth action, but so far, no one able to deal with the onslaught the Revenge are coming forth with. And we're going to be all evened up going into this new point. 5 seconds apiece. You couldn't have a closer hard point if you tried. And it's so difficult. You've got to try and break this setup now from the side of Revenge. Quantic are all set up. 5 seconds left. 3 players drop. It's all up to Raptor, and that will be the game. Connie, what a map for our debut on COD Mobile.
Fantastic work, and Quantic were, pressured quite heavily for the first set rotations, but the second we started to see a bit more proactive play, rotating early on, winning scrap time, and even, putting Revenge in some awkward situations. They held their positioning fantastically, but what made it real challenging is that they were playing for heavy scrap time and even initial. They couldn't get initial. It was many contested hills from the second set rotations, and they lost a lot of coverage and a lot of ground. They weren't confident in the trades. They weren't confident in the 1v1s for, initial or scrap time, and they just created this awkward window where they were leaving the hill contest for 40 seconds from the back end of the back end of the second set rotations, the start of the third set. It was beautiful summit to be played, but simply put, the specialists are always going to be so crucial near the final stages. The claw was impactful on P2, but ultimately the gravity gun, I think, really signified the end.
Yeah, and I got to say, the help of Aussie's War Machine there as well. And honestly, just the fact that they were able to come out on top of that, you take a look at that play by play, and you're looking at Revenge coming in with that P3 hold, giving up that scrap time to Quantic, and you're thinking, okay, whatever. Worst case scenario, they get up, they even the score, but we have the rotations, and then I don't know where it got lost in translation. I mean, you got to forgive me a little bit. COD Mobile, definitely a chaos, game mode game play, but I got to say, the fact that they were able to convert that scrap, come into the break, and then hold to even things up, it really could have gone either way, but I think that was a crucial moment there that led to Revenge's downfall. And now coming into a Search and Destroy Express, I'd like to say usually that it might be a change of pace, but I have a feeling it's not going to be the case with COD Mobile.
Absolutely not. The S&D in COD Mobile is a lot more tactical than it is in regular 4v4. The extra round to win makes it all the more interesting to see what setups work and what don't. You feel like in the modern game, you have to just sort of, roughhouse one strategy and be incredible at it. Similar to Dagestan's wrestling, if you're really good at that sort of element of any sort of fight you might be in, you can win anything you want. But no, in this game, the snipers are allowed. The smokes are allowed. We're going back to Route 1 Call of Duty, Remy. We're going to have, so much variety on the map. No players are going to be asking to GA a gun because it's too powerful. It is brilliant. We actually are going to have a wider tactical spread of Call of Duty to be played. I bet you're so excited to see the return of that.
Man, I am such a big advocate of zero GAs, all of its play on. It really is just refreshing to see. Maybe I was just built for COD Mobile because it's chaos, it's fast pace. You know me, I love the high moments. I love it when it's just going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. We've got specialists, we've got streaks. Even seeing a hunter killer drone back in action is throwback for me. BO2 days. It's just, man, it's so sick to see, and I'm just glad I can get in on it because for a last match of group stage here, and for a team that was 0-2, I mean, you can see the potential that Quantic has. We talked about breeding talent, and that is what we're going to see time and time again. That's the beauty of having a format like this. I say it time and time again, Connie. You're probably sick of hearing me say it, but for the people who don't, these tournaments and leagues are so important to breed that talent and to really nurture these players into what they can become, the greatness that they can achieve. So it's pretty cool to see, and I'm excited to see, Quantic still giving it a crack, not letting go of the gas, making sure that they end off strong here in the group stage, at least with a win under their belt. Revenge, of course, will be 1-2. If they lose this, Quantic as well will also be 1-2. So it would be a pretty even finish for both of these teams if it goes that way. But we've got a Search and Destroy Express, Connie. In terms of your COD Mobile experience, obviously I'm limited. Search and destroy, what are we coming to expect here? Because obviously Hardpoint, it's relatively going to play the same. I can imagine search would be similar, but of course we've got 5 players, we've got specialists, and we've got streaks as well if they're accrued. So I think this could be a really, really different, and as you said, snipers and smokes and everything else. What kind of search and destroy gameplay are we experiencing here?
Lots of tactical rushes towards sites. There's a lot more emphasized here in COD Mobile. Teams going in packs of 3 towards a site and then OEing 2 sets of utility just to make sure that they can close the space and get a post plant. Seems to be key. It's also, again, in situations where if a team's snipers are really good, then they're going to want to equalize trade straight away and play, more towards the kills rather than the objective, which I really think is the biggest factor when it comes to analyzing the gameplay that we're going to see here today. But in terms of actually the set utility, there's a lot here on this map, which is quite surprising. I mean, 2 set smokes again, 1 through middle, 1 again towards your enemy's choke point, or 1 even so over towards A site, the open, shrub train site. That's going to be quite a special one to explore because it only really covers up a section where the sniper rifle overwatching is eliminated, so you have to take fights close range. But this time around, again, Quantic defending for the first round. Both teams again committing towards sites, but B is more towards Revenge's favor as we do see the bomb floated that way.
Yeah, already a trade off the rip. Adiemi going down with the help of Steve. Aussie able to find a massive 2 as well. Looking for the 3rd here, potentially. It's all up to Raptor and Barra. Barra in the sights, but actually gets a snipe onto Aussie. Now trying to get that no-scope as well. Pretty ambitious. Tundra in his hand. So a 2 versus 2 is what we're left with. Bomb as well. Yet to go down in an awkward situation that Barra needs to pick up.
And look at how we're seeing Barra play the situation. Reverting back from B to try and get a lane cut off. Quantic, though, have played the high ground for the player adjacent and stuck a player on B as well just for Overwatch. Raptor, though, spotted the barrel of the sniper rifle, and it's just awful view model to have. Again, that's the risk of running sniper rifles. They're so big, you can spot them if you're playing a tight off angle. And Raptor there is equalized lovely. But in 1 minute, 1 second left, Remy, look what the bomb is. It's nowhere near. They have to commit to the objective, and No's got, plenty of advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, No's got a great route. They have no idea where he is. Baron might have spotted him on the shoulder, though. Finds 1. Does spot the 2nd as well. 40 seconds left. Bomb still yet to go down. Finally getting planted now, so post-plant in effect, but No having a lot of time to work with. Information as well. And it's going to be very, very difficult now as we go into that post-plant.
And now we're just seeing Raptor again circle the same path Quantic took. If he drops down below onto tracks, then he's taking the quick route again to try and wrap back to bomb. Absolutely here.
Defuse, though.
And it's going to be a path again where Quantic and No's got all the option here again just to turn around. There's plenty of timing and intel to make the call. But it's all about, again, what's the pacing, and Raptor's playing it really slow.
Yeah, and he can check the bomb here, and he knows that it's pretty safe for 17 seconds, so he really doesn't have to check at any point right now. Does go for the chow. Easy clutch there for Raptor, and a very interesting one so far, at least in the search and destroy. It's interesting how fast everything kicks off into such tactical play there in the clutch. Raptor able to pinch out the 1v1, and Revenge go at 1-0 so far in the search and destroy in a much-needed map.
And the opener again, Barra gets it with the sniper rifle. Utility's thrown over as well. Trophy to support the push here for Revenge. And now it's just a wonderful execute here onto the site, Remy. Quantic here rushing over from A, and it's prone positioning now as they lose 2 players, only now in a 4v3.
Make it a 4v2. At least even not back yet again, but Barra with a nice snipe there. Wow, can't believe he cut the angle. One more for him, but Naiwen will shut that down. Another one as well as he jumps onto the bomb. So 1 versus 1. Bomb still yet to go down as well with a massive 2-piece. And a highlight reel for sure. Now going towards the middle of the map. Might spot him. Does in the back, potentially. And an easy shot will end out the 1v3 for Naiwen. And a crazy clutch. And a massive, massive win.
Oh, it's just beautiful gameplay to watch, Remy. A collateral in the first wave. And the second kill found on train. I mean, this is why the snipers are so useful on Express. Plenty of coverage on bombs, but the players have to rely on open positions and predicting where the sniper will appear. It's very much a Stalingrad-style matchup. 1 apiece. Attacking this time is Revenge. They've spread around B here, but with the open lane here, and Barra's quick reflexes on the sniper rifle, the advantages are stored.
You need to shut down Barrow. You need to find some way to let him not find these angles and to cut them off. Surely a smoke, something will do the job, but Naiwen going to drop. Now we're left up to no. Can you have a back-to-back clutch? No, you will not. Heads up the top train. We're going to shut that down and take revenge to a 2-1 lead.
And just a tidy finish. No need to exaggerate that play. It was well worked by Revenge, and the Call of Duty was simple. 2-1 lead here. They go on the attacking side, and it's just instant success. We see the format of this team and where they push. The move up again floats them over towards A. The set utility from Quantic gets no information, but the nades do. So now we're going to start seeing players pushing from B across the map here from Quantic, and Barra's holding an off angle and a slight line of sight here. The first trade goes into a 4v4.
Big shots going off on the map. No, we're able to find his second for the round. Daddy going to drop. Now, 3 versus 4, still yet to push onto the site. Could be marginally more difficult as well when you're losing a player on the other side of the map trying to lurk. Matic as well with the pinch. Nye went up top. You've got one player in this top window trying to play his life as best as he can, but there's just so many players you have to deal with. Hare's able to at least make his route known and have value. Naiwen will drop, so you're left in a 2 versus 3, but they know exactly where these players are, and they don't have to overextend here. They know the bomb isn't down, and there's no planner. So now you've got this big route coming in from the side of Hez as they try and reposition towards this side.
And Hez has made a really crucial play here in this instance. Problem, though, again, is less than a minute 1v3, bomb is dropped. And this is where Quantic's static overload and the man advantage really pays off in the situation. They have control of the objective. They can play trades, they can play time. They've got so many options here. Hez has to push and recollect the bomb. And at long range as well, Quantic have information on where he is. They start making the push, but this is where you start to see Hez's skill showcasing itself. 30 seconds left, a 1v2. And the player's now getting really aggressive from Quantic. And it's just a beautiful pinch, a lovely shuffle.
Wow, great
and
timing.
Manic. And the close is fantastic. For a moment there as well, the V model confuses the X-ray, but it made you think that Hez should sit in, but the panel on the train is a downfall.
Yeah, you can see my a little beat there. I've got that too, man. But look, I gotta say, you know, my COD mobile debut, X-Ray was tripping me out too. I was expecting him to shoot each other. They weren't, but whatever. It's 4 rounds now, evened up as they try and go for the B hit yet again. Barra, unfortunately, will drop to Manic. That'll be the first blood of the round, the first victim. Now you've got to try and go back to this push if you're Revenge with the player down.
And also, you're just playing with information right now. The players are dropping really fast from Revenge's side here. And it's Hez and Rapture again left in another 1vx situation. This time around, though, the setup's different. They actually start to glue together, protect the bomb planter, and they're watching again for the awkward cruxes here, the off angles around A. And this is where you start to see Raptor open up the site a little bit more. Quantic, though, holding the stack line and hopes for a counter trade, and it's just perfect. No! Hez makes it a 2v2.
Oh, I mean, brutal loss there. Now you've got Naiwen trying to clutch this out, able to find one Raptor now in the 1 versus 1. What was a 1v2? We've seen Naiwen clutch it before. Can he do it again here? Information is gained. Bomb down. Still needs to go to a site. And now you're clutching this out if you're Naiwen.
Oh, Raptor's taking the worst route here. Naiwen has better weaponry. Caught up sniper rifle still alive. He has to go really long here. 30 seconds left. And Naiwen has to hold just a simple front push. Can kill him from anywhere in this position, and it's brutal. Bomb shot on bridge, though. Again, a dirty head glitch and a check can take. Has picked up an automatic weapon. Gone for the Ode in this situation. And Rapture, again, just about slips away.
Still so awkward. Still so tense between these two players. Bomb goes down. Raptor gets out. Naiwen, unfortunately, not quite getting the angle. You've got 40 seconds left as well, trying to work your way through this train on top of each other. Will he find the kill onto Raptor? Still inching around. Might drop down here if he's lucky, but still Naiwen trying to check every single angle, Connie, and maybe make this a reality. Does pop his little shoulder out in the bottom of his screen, so he knows where he is. Some information gained, does push. Some good timing, but it's not enough. Raptor gets the kill and clutches it out for Revenge. Wow, I mean, that was some awkward 1v1 gameplay. Naiwen trying to get the information, spots the shoulder, the little head underneath him, goes for the chow, which is ambitious, but I guess you've just seen him, so you know he's going to check the left side. Unfortunately, it doesn't go his way, and now we go to a 3-2 Revenge up, looking to try and tie the series here. If this continues, and with Barrett shooting shots like that time and time again, Connie, we're going to see it.
It's just a set piece now that works for Revenge, and Barra has to stay alive. The win conditions are just so clear for Revenge and who their star player is in this mode. Barra has completely taken B for himself, but his teammates have dropped. This is where Quantic, though, find their leverage, and they make a great presence around the B site. They're covering this wonderfully, but it's just a trade in mid that Revenge can't seem to win.
I mean, you've just seen the value that Barra's had on this scope. You cannot underestimate it. You cannot sleep on it. He tells out mid, but unfortunately, Nywin, the Nemesis, comes out with that sniper, able to even things up, and this is as close of a series as you're going to get, ladies and gentlemen. We had the craziest hardpoint, probably of the tournament so far. Now we're coming into a search and destroy. I have been blessed with COD Mobile today. We're all evened up. We're going into a round 7, and let's see how they kick things off.
Now, in COD Mobile, again, one thing to mention in terms of the sides, for anyone at home that has never seen this before, it's not like regular Call of Duty where you flip sides every round. Every 6 rounds, you flip half. So Quantic are now attacking for this portion. And look at what their set strategy is over towards A. Unfortunately, though, with Steve, he's found lovely positioning. Opened up the first few proceedings here with Raptor to accompany. It's just, you know, a calamity here. And Revenge have, you know, just squawked their way onto the site, smashed their way onto the open range, and just really moved in packs here. 2 players to 1 every single situation, and not enough barrels for Quantic to really find their footing. They make it 4-3. And this time around as well, Remy, look towards A. Quantic here are going to stick to the strategy. Revenge, though, committing here for positioning. No, the cutoff is there.
All 5 players, apologies, going towards A, and no one close for Revenge. So you can see they're trying to work on the pinch immediately, but Nywin actually taking out another player for the round. So you're left in a 3 versus 5 to try and pinch this out. Steve gets up close with the shotty, not going to happen. Aussie deep slide right into the mug of Steve, and now a 2 versus 5. Adiemi and Hez looking to try and clutch this out. It's all left up to Hez, and a very, very awkward 1 versus 4 that looks like it might not come to fruition. 30 seconds left on the clock for Hez to try and make something happen.
And Revenge here as well, relying solely on skill for these rounds. We've seen it for the last 7. Look at Quantic's positioning. They hold static setups here. They try for man advantage straight away and get really panicky in 3v3 situations. And I think that's really the situations where we only see Revenge have the most success, Remy. That's a pattern that's emerged in my mind. And really where Quantic now have to start exploring comfort in these rough situations. Revenge, if they keep getting them to these lengths, they're going to actually come out on this particular map.
I mean, it's interesting. We saw Steve, I believe, with a shoddy last round. I think he has it again as well. It's just very few situations you can probably make that viable here on Express. And he was in one of those situations and still lost the gunfight. Hez with a nice snap to open things up, traded immediately. But, you know, when it comes to these situations, I just don't think it's very versatile. And Aussie as well on the back of the map, looking to try and do some damage. Raptor doing a nice job of at least stopping the bleeding. You're left in 2 versus 2. Bomb still needs to go down. But a very, very split 2 teams here, I guess, both on either side, both with no information. We're yet to see a gunfight.
And now things have really slowed down for both teams. They're in quite a state of confusion. Barrett opens with another kill, and that's directly onto the site. And it's a heavy 2v1 here. And Barra as well has a sniper rifle at hand here, so can play long range. No has to go tight towards these corners if you were to avoid any intel being given away. And the audio cues and the sound is just not on his side, so the headphones are up. Revenge can predict them.
Yeah, but he's making the long route. Might be behind 2 players here. If he's lucky, they'll line up. Looking to go to the bomb side. Makes the incorrect read. Unfortunately for him, we're going to try and get towards this top side. And I mean, so far, if you know, 0 information. You've got to be terrified of where these players are.
And now they're just holding this position here. Nose re-clearing the final few sections. Nose again, Barrow loves playing around here, so he has to take it careful. And as time draws down, that's when Revenge start to look towards both sides. They'll check B and then swing over towards A. Terrain, well, that might benefit. There's no audio kill on the bomb. To mention as well, positioning is so far away. Look at how they spread this now. 1 towards mid, 1 towards bridge for Revenge, and they're going to try and close in on Quantic's position.
I like Barrett here trying to watch the angle. He does get spotted. Big kill from No. Big shots. We're going to take him out. Now 1 versus 1. What was a 1 versus 2 to clutch this out and give Quantic the lead. We'll see if he's able to get this pick on the Raptor. Big Chow gets him 1 shot, not quite. Has to back out with his life. Knows there's time on the clock. 20 seconds left. Now Raptor pushing up top. Does find the gunfight and a huge win for Raptor as he clutches out the round for Revenge. And what was a dicey 1 versus 2 does win. And I got to say, I got to give credit to Raptor. Not only 12 kills for this map, but just crucial wins, Connie. Not just picking up those, starter round engagements, making the clutches, making those 1v1s, those 1v2s, making sure that he's netting Revenge these crucial impact frags, and it is going far. 5-4, Revenge with the lead. Still 2 rounds to go if you're new, but Aussie with the first blood. Barra will fall.
And look at Quantic's positioning here again after that round. They want to ensure round 5 and everyone's holding position, but more room for Revenge to actually adjust and create an overload in the portion of the map where there is a weaker entry point. Raptordos opened up lovely proceedings here, cleared through tickets, and they're just holding well. Quantic have reinforced the back line. They've got a player in elevator, 2 covering the main walkways onto site, and it's just, a complete slaughter. Wow. Revenge,
I mean, look at the
pushed
filter.
Independently, single-handedly, not as a unit as we expected, and it costed them the round.
Yeah, you can't get sloppy. You can't let go of the brakes. We've seen how these 2 teams go head-to-head, and when Revenge starts to get sloppy, starts to get lazy, starts to get complacent, that's when we see the mistakes, and that's when we see the openings from Quantic. And you could just see how well they were filtering in that position. They lose 1, it's immediately traded, and that position's filled yet again. Hez, though, missing that play towards the middle of the train. Knock trades out with Manic. Aussie able to find 1 more for the round as well, so Revenge on the back foot yet again. A nice route from Hez, might net some kills. Aussie does drop, and now he's in an awkward situation where he'll get traded immediately and leave Barra in a 1 versus 3, which will end quickly as Nywen, with that scope, controlling the map and taking them to a match point.
Fantastic work. And now we're starting to see Revenge, like you said, lose their marker a little bit. They were so comfortable in the 1vx situations, relied a lot on Barra's play and keeping him alive, but it's just not worked out so well. Once they've realized the conditions, Quantic have just had a trail on him every single round. And this time they rush towards B, and they convert the site beautifully. Barra has to relinquish position, and again, it's just Quantic finding these necessary kills. And Aussie there has done such fantastic work to just push the map. And he's really now forced Revenge to take the mid portion where they have players stacked up. This is where Quantic, though, know where they can time their angles.
Each kill's so impactful right now. Revenge looking like this might be it for their series. Barra and Adeyemi trying to clutch things out. Aussie missing the shot. Awkward slides back and forth, but the help is there from No. Barra now left to try and clutch it out. It's not enough. Quantic with a 2-0. Best of 3 win against Revenge in a dominant fashion. Well, I shouldn't say dominant fashion, but a very solid fashion. I don't really know what the word is to describe that. My vocabulary is failing me right now, but a very neck-and-neck game. Like, it was I guess solid in their decision making, right? They didn't seem like they were lost or they didn't know what to do in these certain situations. They had a game plan, they stuck to it, and in those crucial moments, I think it paid off, right? It paid dividends. We saw in the Hardpoint, barely winning that, but making sure that they got that P3, P4 conversion. We saw in the Search and Destroy, these rounds, these advantages, they would not let it go. Even with Barrel on that scope, doing so much damage in the early rounds, they were always able to even things back up by just playing as a unit, as a team. And they got the win on Revenge. And for a team that was 0-2 in the group stage, to end things off 1-2, the same as Revenge, and to have a performance like that against Revenge is impressive, at least in my eyes. And I mean, Connie, I got to say, we've been blessed. What a match to get things started for our COD Mobile career.
They've done so well for themselves here, haven't they, Quantic? I mean, in terms of actually their movement, where Quantic really kind of had the edge, I do believe, in terms of where their positioning was, they really stuck together in their setups and formations, didn't relinquish position that much, but they were so uncomfortable in the 3v3s and the 4v4s. If they actually, earlier on established that, we're going to lose a player this round, or, we can't really face Barra head on as much as we'd like, knowing the position on B and where he finds the best coverage with the sniper rifle, because again, that was the standout for me, and where we saw great success with the other team. It just didn't really come to mind in terms of how would you alleviate your positioning into a way where they're not going to sacrifice players so much. But that's where I have to give dividends to the other team in terms of where would we see Quantic really fail. I mean, they were getting comfortable in terms of, holding position when they had lost the players in their original setup. And they were trying to readjust in 2-player setups that were originally designed for 4. And it was just really where they were so static. They were so easy to pick off the map for the first 8-9 rounds. It was near the end, though, when it comes to dedicating the read. They finally predicted the pathing. They took Barrett out early on. And even in the final round, Barrett was just playing an island, which is probably the worst decision they could have made in terms of the final few moments of the game. and where you need your most important player to be, mainly with the pack to support the push, rather than, again, hoping that they commit to a dirty strategy later on. It can never really pay off that way.
Well, what a beautiful match to get things started. I cannot wait. If you guys are excited about that match and you guys love that, we have plenty more of COD Mobile coming up tomorrow. So make sure you guys are tuning in for that. It will be bracket play. So this is where the teams really get down to the tooth and nail of this league, and we'll see who the reigning champ is. For now, though, that'll be it from us, and it has been an absolute pleasure. So take it easy, guys, and we'll be back tomorrow with some more COD Mobile.